Hello, this is Carol, the Otherwise Woman, and this is my intuitive and interpretive reading of the prevailing energies that will be with us from the new moon on August 4th until the full moon on August 19th of 2024. This is for entertainment purposes only. Any resulting enlightenment is purely coincidental and unintentional. And first I will apologize. I'm dealing with a less than ideal lighting situation, but it's what I have to work with, so we will carry on. We have the Moon card first here from the Wisdom of the Cailleach deck. We have the Ten of Arrows, or Instruction, from the Wildwood Tarot. And we have you as our Celtic tree ogham. Now there are some connective themes running through. Let's go to you first. This is the very last letter and the last tree in the Celtic ogham. It is about endings and beginnings, death and rebirth. So you tells us that it's time to reignite the life into something, or it's time to start something new, recognizing that we have reached the end of one phase and we are about to begin another. It's about cycles, and that is one of the primary meanings of the Moon card as well. It is about, well, the cycles of the moon, like these readings I do regularly, and the cycles of life. So take some time to consider, where are you? Has something come to an end? Are you about to start something new? Because that energetic inspiration is really strong during this period. Another aspect of you is our connection to our ancestors, to the spirit realm in general, but particularly to the ancestors. This is a time for paying attention, meditating. You may receive a message or even a visit from one of your relatives, one of your ancestors who has passed on. And I'll go back to Moon for this. Another aspect is dreaming and intuition being very, very strong at this time when the Moon card shows up. Now let's turn to the Ten of Arrows, or Instruction. There's also a connection here to ancestors, and in particular learning from those who have gone before. In this card we see a father, or it looks more like a grandfather to me, teaching the little boy, presumably his son or grandson, how to shoot the bow and arrow. So during this time, look at perhaps what you have learned from your parents, your grandparents, maybe your great-grandparents. There may be skills that are perpetual. There may be things that you have learned, or things that you can learn from the older and or more experienced folks in your life, the experts in some area. And even if those skills or that knowledge seems to be outdated, how can you apply what you've learned, what they have to offer in modern times. How can they be adapted to suit the lives that we live now in the world that we have now? There are some things, cooking, gardening, sewing, fishing. There are some skills that have served our species well for hundreds or thousands of years. Don't just cast them aside because you don't need to depend on them as much as people in the past used to. So consider, what have you learned from the elders in your life? What seems outdated, and what can you adapt to modern life? Likewise, if you are an elder, or if you have a particular skill in any given area, consider teaching, especially if someone comes to you and asks to learn. This is relating to me personally because I have been wanting to lead shamanic journey circles for a while now, and with the encouragement of a friend, I have been practicing so that I can keep the proper drumbeat going for the proper amount of time without my arm getting tired or my hand cramping. So shamanic journeying is an ancient skill that is still very helpful and relevant, I think, in the world today. And now I have medicine drums that are made with natural ingredients or elements that were once living. The trees that provide the hoop, the animals that provide the hide for the head of the drum and the drumsticks. However, when I'm practicing, I use a drum that is all man-made materials. It's got a synthetic head, and the frame, I think, is probably a pressed board product. But the advantage to using a drum with a synthetic head is that it's not susceptible to changes in humidity like drums with natural skin heads are. So I'm not planning to use, I don't know, it may change, but I'm not planning to necessarily use my medicine drums that are made from animal material when I lead these, because the synthetic product is just so much more dependable depending on the weather. So there's a way I'm incorporating an old skill but using new materials. And maybe that example can be inspiring or make you think about how you can apply some older skill, a skill from a different time, to this modern world. And I would also encourage particularly younger people, if there's something you would like to learn from your parents or your grandparents or an elder in your community. Ask. Maybe we just need a little encouragement. Okay, so I will leave this reading. Hope you enjoyed it. We are just past Lammas or Lunasa when I'm recording this, so if you celebrated, I hope it was very joyous. Likewise, I believe it was Imbolc down in the southern hemisphere, so the same applies to you. If you would like a personal reading with me, please contact me at otherwisewomanccp@gmail.com. We'll discuss the details. So, what new cycle are you beginning at the new moon? Whatever it is, I hope it brings you much joy and that it prospers and fills you and the world with much delight. Until next time, goodbye.